Okay. This is your girl Jenna and Andrew. We're going to talk about the reading, okay? As you guys come in, say hello. Let us know where you are from. If you have not seen the movie, don't watch this yet because we're going to talk about it in full. So it will be giving some details, thoughts, and it would just ruin the movie for you. So don't even watch it until you have watched the movie. All right. So my husband is going to be also chiming in. He's going to give his take on it, and I'm going to give mine as well. Okay, so, babe.
Yes.
Okay, let's tell the movie. Do you remember it? How's your total recall? Because we've seen it twice.
Okay, I think my total recall is okay.
I mean, it started off. First of all, was the movie scary? It had some little scary moments.
Oh, the movie was definitely scary.
Yeah.
When it first came on, it was shocking. There was a sense of peace when the movie first came on, and then the drama came.
Okay, so in the beginning, we have Monique, who plays Emma, and Emma is a married woman, and she has 2 children, a boy named Kyron and a daughter named Kendall. And she also has a husband who is a dime jeweler or whatever.
I think so. I think he's the diamond reseller, or jewelry seller.
Well, yeah. So we come in. She was with the children and everything, and showing a very happy-go-lucky family with no problems, and it was a nice house, picket fence, something like that. And so her husband comes home, and they hug and greet each other. He goes upstairs. So Monique goes. And she goes in her kitchen and she starts to listen to some music and cook dinner. All right, so all of a sudden the movie goes to outside of the house, which kind of puts me in the scene of Kill Bill when Vivica Fox and all of them were lined up outside the church, and then they went on and they proceeded in. I think that's where they got that scene from, by the way.
Oh, from Kill
Now
Bill.
that I'm thinking about it, it's Kill Bill. Remember they stormed the church and annihilated everyone in the church.
I do remember that.
Except for Bianca. All right. Or Beatrice. And so anyway, it showed these guys. They were masked and they went outside of the house and then they went in. They showed the lock. The door had a key in it. So I'm assuming they didn't lock the door, huh?
No.
They didn't lock the door. And so this guy came in. It was 4 guys, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then what else happened, babe? Because this is a joint effort.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it was like 4 guys, and they each walked around the house.
Right. And
just offing everyone.
Well, no. You skipped a little bit, okay? Remember when the guy with the mask, they all had masks, but the one guy that they zoomed in on, they let you zoom in on his eyes. So I was like, okay, this is going to be important, And so anyway, they went upstairs and they basically took out everybody. Took out the daughter, took out the sons, and took out the husband. And then proceeded to come downstairs and completely... I mean, this scene, even with me watching it twice, I bypassed it. I didn't want to see it. It was so brutal how they did Emma.
It really was.
Okay? I'm surprised she survived. She did survive, y'all. Yes, she did. She did survive. But they showed this and all that. And after that, the movie goes to Emma on a talk show. And she is a writer. And you know what? Now that I'm talking about this, if you are a writer, you can make up stories.
You make up stories.
So there is a Anyway, so she was like, her voice was not the same, guys. She talked like, no, she was like that. She didn't have a clear speaking voice, very timid, very, scared, and then she had issues with her voice. And, the lady was like, oh my gosh, that's so horrendous what happened to you and things like that. And, okay. So it went to another scene. And what was the other scene after her being on the show? Do you remember?
Then there was an introduction to Sky in her life.
Okay, so yeah, then the next scene goes, no one is talking. What is, what? I don't mean no harm.
Yeah.
And of course, this is on the replay, guys. I know you're like, what are you guys talking about? But hello, guys. Let's see if someone says hello. You guys say hello. I just want to make sure you can hear me. My little synthesizer over here is saying my voice is coming through, but I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Okay. So yes, it zooms to, it goes to the scene with the teenagers, the college kids.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Scott. I don't know the other characters' names.
Yeah, there's no backstory on the other characters, really.
Okay, hi. Okay, awesome.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah, so Sky is the reader. She has a gift. I think she can, is it safe to say that she can read minds?
I don't think it's on the level of reading minds. It's on the level of reading spirits.
Okay, so certain parts of this movie gave me like, kind of a vibe of Ghost. The with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg back in the day, Ghost. And I think they were at the like a diner or something.
They were. And
they were talking. Basically, Sky didn't want to do this anymore. She has a gift. She's real. She had a gift, and she said that did they have that discussion after they visited the guy? Or
yes, she said it's real to me.
Okay. So did they show them, because I'm trying to go in order, did they show them doing the seance or whatever first and then they had a discussion, or did they have a discussion and then do the seance? Because I thought he was the guy that she's talking to, which I think is her boyfriend.
They had the discussion.
He gives first. the heist, right? He gives, okay, our next thing is this.
Yes. I believe,
okay.
So the discussion was first.
Before the discussion was first.
Yes.
Okay. So they're
no, the discussion was after the first.
Okay, so they zoom in with this another scene where they're at a guy's house who lost his mother and wanted to connect with the mother. Okay, and during that scene, which is kind of scary, she was doing that little, what is it called? The reading or projecting? What is it? She's supposed to get possessed with the spirit so they can talk.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay, so she did this with this guy's mom, and the mother tried to stop her. Basically, they're doing a heist. Her gift is correct, or her skill is real, but she uses her skill to heist people, to scam people.
Yeah.
Okay, and so the guy was like, very eager to talk to his mom's spirit, and so he was willing to do whatever. And I think she blocked the woman from getting into her, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, she blocked that spirit, the mother's spirit, to get into her, because the mother was going to tell her son don't give money. They was telling him to give money to some type of charity.
Yes.
And things like that. But anyway,
she has the ability to allow it or not allow it.
Oh, well, that part I didn't know.
Yes.
She can control. Yeah.
Because she said, oh, that was just a tester?
Right.
It wasn't the full thing? She has the ability to do the whole thing or not.
Okay.
So she has the ability to block.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this all went on. She started to doing some weird stuff. I think she did the veins come up on her face a little bit, and things was going out. Her friends were there. She was hooked up to like blood pressure monitors, because while she's doing all of this stuff, it literally affects her health. Like, she could have like a heart attack or something during these things. They get real hectic, if you will. So anyway, Zooming in to the next scene, which was the scene I was talking about before when she was with her, I guess her friend or boyfriend, and they were like at this diner and they were talking, and he was like, "What happened back there?" and things like that, and she was like, "Look, I don't want to do this anymore. It's dangerous. And she said basically that spirit was angry, was very angry, and she said that she's had this gift since she was 6 years old, and so the see number 6, right?
Yeah.
Okay, she said she had this gift since 6 years old, and
Ability.
this ability, yeah, it's not a gift, since she was 6, and so the guy was like, "Well, what happens if they actually touch you?" Because she blocked her from touching. During that scene, you did see like this little wicked hand come towards her, and she kind of like blocked it. And I didn't, when you watch this movie, just understand that you may have to watch it again. It's not a movie where you can just one and done, because it's going to literally kind of make you question every scene. But so he was like, "What happens, to you when the spirit touches you?" And she said, "It possesses you," right?
She did.
She said it so chilling like that. "It possesses you." And so, with that being said, he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, we got another heist." And she said, "Well, look, didn't I just tell you that I don't want to do this? It's dangerous. I don't like it, and this, that, and the other." He was like, "Look, this lady had her whole." Talking about Emma. He was like, "This woman had her whole, family annihilated, and we could get possibly $20,000. Now he went from $20,000 and saying $100,000.
He did.
What the heck was that? Was he saying they could get?
He went from $10,000 to being $100,000, I believe.
Yeah.
And talking about it split several ways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really understand. I don't really know why. I guess he was saying this is the base price, and if we push, we could get more.
Okay. A brief commercial, guys. So the thing about it is, what am I doing right here? I am making waist beads. My waist beads are for people who want to take ownership of their weight management, whether it's to lose weight, maintain weight, or gain weight. These beads will help you to do that, okay? Help you to stay aware of that. And all of my information to purchase these beads will be in the description. If you're watching this anywhere else, it'll be in the pin. Okay. So what else, babe? We getting into it.
Okay.
All right. So I talked about a scene. What's the next scene? You remember?
Okay. Are we talking about the table scene when they discussed their new?
Yeah, she was like, "I don't want to do it," and he was like, "Look, you can get $20,000, possibly $100,000. This will be the last one, the last hit, and things like that." She was not digging it out, or anything like that.
First of all, he put her on. Excuse me. When you were at that moment, he had 2 meetings. One was with him, and one was him and her, and one was with the group. And so the first meeting was how he really wanted her to do another one because everyone needs the money. And then the second meeting was, even though she said no, he put her on the spot and told everyone as if she agreed to it.
Oh, but we didn't see that part.
Yeah, when the group was there, and so it made her be the heavy if she wanted to say no.
Oh, the group was at the dinner? At the diner?
The second meeting. Oh, so you still at the first meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was there. Okay, because the second scene after that is when she went home and we were introduced to her mother.
Oh,
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So
and that's when reality kicks in for her.
Okay, that's exactly what happened. So the next scene is when her we meet who her mother is.
So her boyfriend was absolutely right.
Yes, and I have to say this: the mother was played by the lady who played Kim Reese on A Different World.
Reese.
Okay, and she did a good job. Wasn't a long role, but it was very, very poignant. So yeah, it showed her having all of these degrees. She's a smart lady and things like that. So she was in there, and her mother said, "Oh, you know, how you doing in school? Are they teaching you stuff you already know?" So listen, that's letting you know that she does read minds. She already knows stuff. You know, she's like, you know, you got that brain from me.
She did say that.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So she was like, you know, they're having money problems and things like that. And so the mother wants Sky to finish school so she can become a doctor. Okay? That's
Like
basically
her.
like her, right? But, you know, they had degrees. It doesn't mean that you have a lot of money and you're successful with it. They were still kind of struggling. And so she told Sky, look, I got the bills. You finish school. And then she said, you know, I got somebody coming over later to help me out or whatever. So she was like, oh, are they just coming over just to drop you off money? She said, and the mother was like, excuse me? You know, like, who are you to ask me that question?
About my business.
You know what I mean? And so the next scene is when all of them are meeting.
Yes. That's
After
the next
that,
scene.
okay, you can talk about that.
Okay, so the next scene, the group has actually been told about the new venture or the new heist, and so they're all sitting down together, and they're surprised. Like there's a misunderstanding between Sky and her friend. So the lady. Friend, and she was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you know, it's okay. We're about to do it. He already told me." And so she had no idea that he had told her yes. He had told everyone yes. And
Without telling her.
Without telling her about the new plan or the new scam. And
is that when he told her about the 20,000?
That's when she
okay.
found out about it. And then at the end, he said, "Of course, it's up to you. It's all up to her. It depends on her if she's going to do it."
Okay.
Yeah. So it made her the heavy.
Yeah. And now, after that dinner, is that when it came into her being in her bedroom and things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Right after that.
So,
her answer was no. She walked out on the meeting.
Okay, so yeah, initially she said no, she didn't want to do it. And then it shows her in a scene where she's in the room and basically she could hear like some baby boy Ving Rhames. Is it Ving Rhames?
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames
yeah.
in baby boy's mother type situation, if you will. Okay, and so she was like, you know, she had her earphones on and stuff, and she was like, oh, you know, and I think at that moment when she realized what her mom was, how she was, you know, making her money, I think that's made everything switch.
Yeah.
And she wasn't just, oh, I want to save. I think she changed. I think the character's spirit kind of, if you will, kind of changed at that moment. And so they went on. The next scene is when they're on the outside of the house of Emma.
At that moment, she actually agreed. He called, or did she call? I think he called her. And she said yes.
Yeah. And so they're out in the car and they're getting themselves together and things like that. And one of her friends was basically, you know, why was she so mad, angry? What's going on? I never understood that.
Why was she so angry?
Yeah.
She's so mad.
Yeah, she hit him in the chest and like this and the other, and if this don't work.
Oh, she was upset because she had not agreed to it. She found out.
Right.
Because after she had stormed out, she realized that she had not agreed to it.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because she was concerned about what could happen.
Okay. So they get in.
So she said, if she may forgive you, but I don't.
Yeah, she was just, you know, I thought it was over the top, but it's okay. Maybe because I wasn't really into that. I didn't understand it.
You didn't understand that scene, yeah.
Okay, so they get into Emma's house, just to speed it up. They get into her house. She let, and I think her sister-in-law, her sister-in-law lets them in. And apparently, just to give you guys a little background on this reading, because she agreed to it, right?
She did.
Okay. They didn't believe that Sky was real.
No.
They didn't believe that Sky's abilities was real. They was just basically trying to get this reading to sell their book, The Invitation. Was it The Invitation? I'm sorry, not The Invitation. The Invasion. Yeah. Okay, excuse my language. But
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
the invasion, okay? And so she thought that that would be awesome to have this live of her getting a reading and that really getting people to get the book. Now, then I'm thinking about, now, okay, why would she want to make it? But then what everybody do? They try to make money off of a tragedy.
Off of a
it's
tragedy.
like that. What is it called? Trauma economy.
Trauma economy.
Yeah. So basically, she's one of those people that's like, oh, you're trying to make money off of your children's demise. Anyway, so she let her in, and one thing that stood out to me is when she called out to Emma. Now, earlier, remember I said Emma had something wrong with her voice. And so when she said, Emma, they're here, she said, okay. Her voice came through fine.
It did.
Which I don't know if that was important. She wanted people to believe her story. Oh, she wanted people to believe her story.
Oh, so that's another reason why she agreed to that. She wanted, to the book deal, she wanted people to believe the story.
Oh, because people wasn't believing it.
What the book was supposed to, like, the Sharon Stone movie, you guys know the name of that movie. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to support what she did. This is after the fact.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to get into what I think about this whole thing later on. But, okay, I got it. I got that part. All right, so she called...
And her sister-in-law was up for the money.
Right.
Because she already had money.
Okay.
But the sister-in-law, who was her agent, was going to probably get some money off of this book promotion.
Okay.
The sister-in-law had money, too, because she paid for this reading.
Oh, she paid for it. That's a huge...
It was an investment.
That's a huge point, too. She did pay for it. It was an investment and things like that. And apparently, just to skip a little bit, or maybe I shouldn't. So the thing about it is she called Emma, and Emma did not have a cracked voice. She said, okay, I'm on my way. All right. She comes down. She looks, haggard, if you will. She has a cane. She's walking down slow. And the reason why I'm laughing is because towards the end of the movie, she's, anyway, we're not going to get that far yet. All right. So she comes down and she looks Sky right in the face, and they're just connecting. And she was like, okay, what do you need from me? She was going to pay for it. They never got paid. Oh, yeah, they never got paid.
They never got paid.
So she didn't get paid.
No.
They didn't get paid. Okay, good.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah. So hold on. Who was actually going to pay? I think Emma was going to pay. Yeah, because she said, at the end.
Looks like, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
she was going to pay.
So.
But the sister-in-law was very much involved. Like,
right.
I'm going to get my money's worth. As if she was paying herself.
Right. So Emma comes downstairs and say, basically, I'm speeding up a little bit. She said, "Oh, what do you need?" And so,
don't forget the tour. She toured.
That's what I'm saying. Did Sky ask for that tour, or she toured?
She volunteered. She said, "Let me show you around the house."
Okay, all right. So, okay, if you go ahead, say something.
Oh yeah, she volunteered. She said, "Let me show you around the house." So they came in. Everyone looked around. Right. The boyfriend noticed the security cameras. While Sky and Emma were upstairs. And so they were looking around. The first place
Let me see my synthesizer and see if they can hear you.
Okay.
Talk again.
The first place
talk a little louder
that they went to was the daughter's room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they went to the daughter's room, looked around. The room was chock full. It had so many things going on. The girl with the afro and so many words in it. It was interesting.
Yeah.
One was Big Bang.
One was Big Bang, yes. And you're talking about the mural that was on the wall.
It was like a mural, but it wasn't a mural. That was her actual room. It wasn't a mural to her.
Well, it was, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so it was something she said during that part of the scene. Sky became like emotional and said, I don't know how you could even, and this is not like verbatim, but basically she said, I don't know how you got through this. I don't know how, you're still functioning, and,
she did say that.
if that happened to me, I just don't know. And what did Emma say?
She said, I don't know
what I would do either.
Which means it never happened to her. The whole story never happened. She admitted.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what happened. She admitted it right then and there, kind of, sort of. She was like, okay, so when did the signal... Okay, so is that when she said, do you need anything else or anything or whatever? She was like, I can't stay in this room too long. I gotta go and all that. And then they went down the steps. Now, in the beginning of the movie, that's important. In the beginning of the scene where they all were in the house, she did say, the guy with the phone, he was like, hey, I don't have a signal. And she said, did she say right there this? No, she didn't say it right there. She didn't say anything about the Wi-Fi yet.
He did. He said it looks like this is the only spot where I can get a Wi-Fi signal. If I move a little bit to the right or to the left, I don't get a signal. Yeah. And she said, well, maybe this is like a dead zone. He said, oh, what? Dead. What, you mean a dead spiritual zone? He said, no. Basically.
Dead for Wi-Fi signal. Yes. And then Monique, okay, so this is sped up to when they're at the table ready to get down, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so
everybody knew about her abilities, except for the people that hired her. They didn't think it was real.
They didn't think it was real. So then she said, no signal on the phones would have made me turn around. Right. Yeah. That's what somebody said. Mm-hmm. You know,
basically, they were not able to broadcast it live.
Right. They were like sitting ducks
and upload it later.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So they're at the table. She said, "Oh yeah," and she said it in her little raspy voice. She said, "Oh, the Wi-Fi is this house." She said, "This house dead's the Wi-Fi."
She said that.
That's what she said. And okay. So what happens after that? She gets into it.
Okay, so they said, okay, all right. She said, we'll just record it. And the sister-in-law said, as long as I get my money's worth. Right. Well, they got their money's worth. Okay, so what happened is next is this. She was like, okay, so Emma, I need you to say your children's names or your family's names. And she said, Kendall, Kyron. Breathe in, breathe out, and say their name.
Right. So she breathed in, breathed out, breathed in, breathed out. She said their names, Kendall and Kyron, and then the husband's name, I don't know.
Slowly.
And then all of a sudden, and I'm speeding it up, y'all. Y'all got to watch it. But all of a sudden after this, they hear a thump upstairs.
A typing upstairs. No, it was the thump.
It was a thump upstairs. Mm-hmm. And so Monique is like, or Emma, she's like, how did you do that?
I heard something.
Yeah. And so it happened again, and she heard typing or something.
Oh, no, this was on the second one.
Okay, go ahead.
That was the second one.
Go ahead.
She heard a thump. Mm-hmm. And she started talking about her favorite color.
Oh, yeah. She was like, turquoise.
Teal.
Teal is your favorite color and all that.
She's not like, green, but specifically teal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is your favorite color.
And she was like, you know, she's getting a little scared or whatever. And then Emma gets up and does something. What does she do?
She talks about her children, her daughter, and her hair, and how she wanted to do her hair, and how she would motivate and discipline her children. Mm-hmm. And then it just got so real.
Did she know the song at that point?
She knew the song in which they would sing to each other. And she said, I never told anyone about the song.
Yeah, and that sparked Emma to get the heck up. And she and her sister-in-law, they went out and they powwowed a little bit. And she was like, what's going on? And she was like, you know, I told them certain stuff. I told her. So apparently they had already told her stuff. Yeah. She told her stuff before all of this happened, yeah. I guess to see if that's all she would say or to prove that she's a scam.
Yes.
And she ain't mentioned nothing that the lady said or told her. It was real stuff. That's why I said the movie reminds me of Ghost, which a lot of
Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg, yes.
Right. Well, a lot of new school, you know, youngins may not know about that movie.
Exactly. In fact, her mother's name is Oda Mae.
Yes, Oda Mae Brown. something like that, right?
Like the almost was it Oda May or Ida May?
Something like that. Yeah.
Very,
Oda.
very,
Oda May.
mm-hmm.
Yes. So yeah, it is some kind of like ghost little nuances in there. And so they went and they talked, and she was like, "No, I didn't say this. I didn't say that. You know, I don't know what's going on. I didn't tell her about no song. I didn't." She said, "Yeah, because she wouldn't know that, you know." And so she was like, "Oh, okay." And so they went. I'm speeding up. They went back in, and she was. They went back downstairs into the room, and they said they basically were going to take another stab at it, if you will. Okay. And so Sky said, "Okay, I need to get even more connected." And Sky, right? And yes. Emma was like, "You didn't connect the first time?"
What was this, a taste or something?
You know what I mean? Yeah, she was like, "You didn't connect the first time?" She was like, "No, I need to get in there, if you will."
What was this, a test run?
She was like, "Okay," you know, so they started off again.
This is when it gets real. She's like, "Oh, it can't get no more real than this."
Yeah.
It's about to get real, more real than this.
So she started up the reading again. And then this time it got deeper because she started like transforming, if you will. She started getting little lines on her face. She started doing this little cracking stuff like it was the movie back in The Grudge, you know, the cracking stuff like that.
Yes.
And it was like, they was like, and this is, she was talking like the daughter. She was like, hey, you know, and I'm giving you guys the speed up version.
And you can hear the echo of
right.
her and the daughter, like two voices coming out of one mouth.
Yeah, you could hear both voices.
Mm-hmm.
And
her
she was
veins
like,
were popping out of her head.
Oh, wait, babe. We were both telling the story at the same time.
I'm sorry. I can see it.
All right, go ahead. Say it. Go ahead.
Her veins were popping out of her head. And so the first one, I believe, was the husband.
Oh, yeah. So this is what happened, right? She was like, had a cell phone, but it was a pretend, it wasn't a cell phone. She was acting like she was on a cell phone because at that moment she was talking, her husband was talking through Sky. And he was like, "Oh, this and this deal, and you didn't tell me the truth, and and this is going to ruin my business and all that." And then it cut out. Boom. So that was the husband.
And then there was typing upstairs as if he was still typing on his computer.
Yes. And so this is when everything was getting real. So yes, Sky is the real deal. They did not know that, okay? They just was trying to get some publicity for their book. They didn't know. They thought it was going to be fake. But anyway, the next voice was her daughter.
Yes.
Her oldest daughter, right?
I believe so. Uh-huh.
What was she saying?
She was typing. It was almost like she was typing because she said, "LOL, laugh out loud."
Yeah,
My mother's trying to get me to do this fundraiser thing, and I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Laugh out loud.
Yeah. Laugh out loud. So she basically was hearing. She was recalling probably the last moments of her family's life, basically, when they were getting annihilated or whatever.
That's exactly what it was.
And so the third voice was the little Kyron, who was, it made her mad. Yeah. Made me mad too. But what could the mailman have done?
Yeah.
I don't think he could have got the, they wouldn't lock him up.
They ran, he looked back one more time.
Yeah.
He looked back and it was gone because they were afraid she was going to come to the window.
Right. And then she did fight. Now this is the thing, a lot of people, I've been reading a lot of comments as well on this movie. And I'm talking about the fight scene when the other girl, I don't know her name, and Emma were fighting on the steps and all that. They said that Sky just stood there and let them fight.
Well, I think
she didn't try to save her.
I think she tried. They both attacked, and she threw one off.
Mm-hmm.
I think she was slightly hurt at that time. Mm-hmm. And she didn't run back down to try to attack again. It's just...
So to make a long story short, we're going to speed it up just a tad to the end, okay? Or to the almost final curtain call.
She picked her up.
Huh?
Do you remember that fight
what happened?
scene? That fight scene was off the hook. Between those two girls.
But you got to leave some things for people. Go ahead.
Yes, she tried to attack her and run at her. Both Emma picked her up
Like a football player.
Yes, and slammed her to the wall.
Slammed old girl.
Slammed her. Yes.
And then did she pop her?
That was a friend.
And did she pop her?
She, I don't even know how. I think.
But she annihilated her too.
Yeah.
And so it was down to just Sky. Okay. And why did she
had
not
ran out
help?
of bullets at
Yeah.
that
Why
time.
didn't she help her?
She had ran out of bullets at that time.
She said, "Darn." But no. Why didn't she help her? Something's wrong. Something is just indeed wrong. So let me talk about when Sky got upstairs. They saw that she found a bullet, an extra bullet under the bed, and she tucked that away. And so just to get this together, she had a standoff.
Yeah, she
Emma
ran back upstairs.
Right. Emma and Sky had a standoff, and she was like, she came out and she had the piece in her hand. Yeah. Sky had the piece in her hand, and Emma was like, "What you gonna do with that? It ain't nothing in it. You can't use it." And so basically they fought and all that, and then boom, Sky used the thing on Emma. And
yeah, she got stabbed in her hand.
I'm not trying to tell everything. Andrew, you giving all the details. Okay, so she did. She maimed Emma in her face, and you know what? I almost turned the movie off at that point because the credits did come up. But the only thing that kept me watching was I still heard voices. And if you watch Marvel movies, guys, you know it's always something in the credits. After the credits. So during that time, in the middle of the credits, another scene pops up. You want to do the honors of that scene?
Oh.
So this is what really turned my whole thought on the whole movie.
Yes, she was having an interview with the talk show.
The same talk show that Emma
was on.
Yeah.
And I believe she was talking about her book. Guys, what was the name of her book? That I don't remember. But she was marketing her book as well. And the host said, "You know what? That lady was on our show just a few months ago telling lies, lying to us."
No, years. 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Lying to us. And
she said, "Isn't that crazy?
Isn't that crazy?"
And so she was on there like this and all that. And then she said, and she looked at the camera and she was like, "Yeah, isn't it?" And she had this devious face. I was like, what? And it just ended just like that. Like, what the heck happened? You know what I mean?
That just switches my view on everything.
So, Andrew and I have been for the last 4 or 5 days debating. We have been debating. He feels one way. I feel my way. I even wake up with new theories. I mean, this movie is like that. I've never watched a movie that had me question. I think the last movie I watched that had me question what happened was Halle Berry's movie called The Rich Man's Wife. And it's kind of like, sort of like that movie. If you saw that movie, it's an old school movie. But anyway.
Yeah, with Charles S. Dutton.
No.
He wasn't in that one?
Oh. That's Gothica.
Oh, okay. Different movie?
Different movie.
Oh, okay.
It was just Halle Berry. Nobody else had a name that I knew.
Okay,
but honestly, guys, I'm with you, Angelia. She said she thinks Sky fatally injured everyone. And I do too. I feel like...
I think 2 people lied. Yeah.
No, he keeps saying that. I feel the whole story... I'm just going to jump out there on faith and say this. The whole story was made up. I think Sky... I mean, how can you really trust a medium, if you will? Like a person... I mean, that is kind of... That's devilish. It is what it is. The devil's a liar. So with that being said, I don't believe her story at all. I feel like when she was on the talk show... I feel like she was telling the ins and outs from the time they got to the house. I think she told the story. She said that Emma, annihilated her family. I myself don't believe that. I don't. I mean, I don't know. It is some points in there that says, "Oh yeah, she could have." You know what I mean? But I definitely think that she possessed Emma. I think she transferred her spirit to Emma, and that's why Emma was running around like a 5-year-old all through that movie. I think that whole time when they were at the table and all those veins was popping up in her head and all of that, I think during that time, did anybody touch her during that time?
Cool.
Did anybody touch Sky when she was going through all that? Did anybody touch her? Who touched her?
The three. Her boyfriend, the girl, and maybe definitely the boyfriend and the girl.
I think if Emma did annihilate her family, I do think that Sky basically took everyone out. She didn't. Okay, so there was a scene that we forgot when Emma was just talking, right? She said, "I think it's like falling." Okay, that's with Denzel Washington when they would touch each other.
Oh,
see, it's like so many movies.
Yeah,
I love that movie too.
I do too.
That was a deep movie. There was a scene in the movie where she was talking about Emma ain't going back to broke. Emma ain't this. Emma not doing this. And I'm like, during that time, that could have been Sky talking. That could have been Sky's thoughts. Oh, by the way, we did forget to say, because the lady said, "How did you get out the house?" She said, "Oh, I figured it out. I figured out the code."
I figured it out.
Now, she ain't figure out nothing.
That confused me for a little bit.
She didn't figure it out. She was, inside of Emma's head. I think she was a mind reader.
See, you feel like got some bikers around here. Okay, all right. So you feel like you're actually adding abilities to her. So you feel
I'm not adding anything.
You feel
the
like
guy said I'm not a mind reader, which insinuated that she is.
He did say that. It's not like
this is all about interpretation. At this point, I don't think anybody's right or wrong. Yeah. I think that's what they wanted. They wanted to see if people were just going to discuss. This could be like a course in college, like this reading thing. Yeah. This could really be something. Like I'm 40-some years old. I've never had to question a movie this deep.
Me neither.
Oh my God.
The movie's called The Reading, but it's about two authors, two writers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, so they're readers and writers? Like, at least guys, he's a reader and a writer?
Okay, so this is what she said. She said, "I think that Emma fatally injured her family.
I do too.
But before Sky got to the house, she knew. And when she started touching the spirit, she became possessed and fatally injured everyone because she was mad at her friends. And she knew what Emma had really done."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You guys really want to believe that Monique did that? I don't want to believe that.
I know you don't.
And the only reason why I don't want to believe it is because Sky is a liar. She is evil. I even thought at one point that the mother was there. Because, okay, case in point, when she was, I'm going to make y'all want to go back and watch the movie. Because when she was, the scene with her mother, she was talking like this and then she just said, "That." Just like that.
Which is sort of like a personality of her mother. You
get what I'm saying? She was like, "That." Just like that, right?
But you know what?
And then when Monique in the beginning, when they, when she was like, tell them why they can't leave the house, Monique did the same thing. She was like, "Boogeyman." Well, I thought it was funny. Y'all didn't think it was funny? I said, that sounds like her mother.
It does. But you know what that does? It doesn't say, to me, it doesn't say that she was possessed by her mother. It says to me that Sky was telling the story.
Thank you.
And using the character of her mother in her.
Yes, and that is more than likely what happened.
Mm-hmm. And so I feel like Sky was a copycat.
Remember, the mother said, "You got that brain from me," and she was dressed up like a voodoo priestess. You know how it is back in the day. She was smoking and she had a little rap and all that. Mm-hmm. It was a whole ambience. It was very dark. It was the whole ambience of these girls are into the getcha ya ya da da kind of stuff, if you will. Mm-hmm. The coochie coochie. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm, you know what I
Okay,
mean? They
okay.
into that bayou stuff, if you will.
The bayou stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so I feel like Sky was like actually a copycat serial person, right?
Right.
Like she just copied her. Like if you look at it, her whole family was gone, and she's the only one that survived. And for Sky,
and the lone survivor can say anything.
Yes, and so Sky was the same way. Everybody was gone in the whole house, and she's the only survivor. Okay, Emma, she had her pinky cut off. Okay, Sky, she had a stab in her hand. Okay, so they both had injuries to their hands. It was like she was a copycat.
Ah, like a copycat killer.
Yes.
Copycat, yeah.
Yes. Now the ending that really got me was how did she get out the house? How did she get out the house?
This is how I believe she got out the house, and you guys let me know what y'all feel.
If she was just a copycat?
She's a mind reader. It was like X-Men, okay? If y'all into X-Men, that's her power. She's Xavier. Is it Xavier? Yeah, he reads minds. Okay? She was like Xavier. So if I know how to read minds,
you're adding abilities to her.
I'm not adding any abilities because the friend said I'm not a mind reader.
He don't even know that she possibly could be reading minds. He didn't think that either.
Do you think a person...
But they did put that in there.
Honestly, do you think a person with that type of spirit can't read your mind? Can't exit her body in and out? Can't... You really think that?
That is definitely possible.
Maybe I am giving some abilities to Sky. I don't trust her. I think she lied about the whole thing.
And I think she tried to control the mind of that first person that she did a reading on. I think she tried to control him. She said, give a donation to this charity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That didn't come from the mother that she was doing the reading. It didn't come, I think that came from her. And she was trying to manipulate him. But the mother stopped him. That's what I feel like. So maybe she does have abilities of reading and...
She can read the spirits.
And manipulating minds.
Yeah.
Maybe she does. So let's stay with the narrative of she's just a reader, right? Because it's called the reading, right? Well, so we're not going to say that she can manipulate minds. We're going to just say she can just read and only read spirits and not minds. Okay? Let's say that happened. When she died, right? Because she actually did fatally injure Emma. Like she was Trayvon Martin. While she was on top of her.
Yeah. And it's funny you brought that up because that's what I said a few nights ago. I think it was kind of like that type of nuance. If you remember how they say Trayvon had lost his life, George Zimmerman said he was on top. And usually the person who's top is the victor, if you will, right?
Yes.
But that's not what happened. He, in my opinion, of course, I don't feel like he was the aggressor. I think Trayvon was not the aggressor. I think, of course, George Zimmerman was. And so it looked like in this movie, of course, Emma was the aggressor, and she was not the aggressor. I feel that Sky was the aggressor, and she, did that from beneath her.
Yeah.
And so it looks like, when she was on top, she was getting me. She stabbed me, just like George Zimmerman. I feel he took something of himself and injured himself and said that whatchamacallit did it and things like that. And that's why the holes are in the story, because all of these things can be proven. If Emma did annihilate her whole family, how did she get out? How did she get out of that, taking all of her family's life? I was watching this I like Fatal Attraction on TV One.
Yes.
And so there was a story of this woman, and she said that basically some intruders, all this trick in the book, okay, said some intruders came in, fatally injured her boyfriend, came in, assaulted her, and all of this. She was injured. She went in the hospital. All that. Guess what? Found out she did it all.
Oh.
She did the whole thing. She said that them people had did something to her wrong. They proved that that wasn't true. So if she's saying that she did take all her family out, you telling me they didn't Just because she's injured doesn't mean that she didn't do it. That she didn't do it. I can go as far back as Tupac and Suge Knight. He was injured.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doesn't mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, I think that's not correct. I don't think she killed her family. I don't think so.
Okay. This is how I feel, and I'm gonna rest my case on this. I feel like Emma killed her whole family, and I feel like Sky killed everybody in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, when she killed her, she got repossessed by Emma, and that's how she was able to get.
What do you mean repossessed?
She got not repossessed. She got possessed by Emma after she was fatally injured.
Okay.
And then she was able to get out of the house because she knew the password.
That's what 99% of people on social media is saying. That is not original, and you having people, suggest that to you. But that's how you really feel.
I don't know how she got out the house. Otherwise,
First of all, how can you be? So
you need to know the combination.
So
only one person knew the combination.
So who is she possessed by on
and
the
show?
show?
And that was Emma. She was the only person
that
knew
the
combination.
So Emma's spirit is still in her at the show?
I believe Emma was the only person that knew the combination to the lock to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only way that she would know it is that she was possessed by Emma.
So was she possessed by Emma on the talk show? Because that was 2 years later.
I think she can remember when she was possessed, though. Even if she may not be still, she can still remember what happened doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So she may not be.
Emma had that house locked down so well, so she had to connect with Emma at some point. Yeah, I believe that. But I think she connected with Emma when she was at that table doing that reading. I think the whole time Sky took over Emma's body. I think Sky took over her body.
I think everything at the
That's
table...
That's not possible?
I believe everything at the table was Sky's account. Right? That was her. Everything from the table point was her telling the story.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, who knows after what happened after that? I think she could have went and she showed her the house. Mm-hmm. She could have went and got the gun and shot up everyone. I don't know. I mean, and then at the end she was possessed. Mm-hmm. She was possessed by the other people in the house. Why not her after she was gone?
Oh yeah, because she was touched by her.
Yes. That's the only thing. All right, so what's your theory?
It's starting to not have legs.
How did she
My theory is much more...
How did she get out the house? All right, so for your theory to work, she has to give people... You have to give her abilities to read and possibly manipulate minds.
How do we know she didn't have telepathic?
She could have.
She could just do it herself.
She could have.
I mean, that's why they left it open like that.
Yes, they did.
You know, I'm thinking outside of the box.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. You're thinking within what you saw.
Yeah.
But I feel like she has so many other abilities. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Really, she could have died when she was doing that reading.
It looked like she could have, yeah.
And she didn't. Mm-hmm. She didn't look good.
No.
So
it was representing.
And when she died, I think, or when that situation happened, I think her spirit took over. I mean, I'm still at how is Emma running around like a teenager?
Yes, it's a.
That part
she was running around is because it was a story.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't real. She made her look like something spiritual or supernatural. All this is her account.
That's why she say, tell them the truth. When did she say that?
Oh. When she was possessed?
I don't know. When did she say that?
At the
Lovely
table?
Nene?
At the table?
What part are you talking about? I'm thinking she was telling the part when she was like, "Hey, tell them why I can't get out this house." And
yes.
She never said it.
Oh, she did. She did say it.
Because she fatally injured her own family?
Yeah.
What that got to do with getting out the house?
Oh, it means you can't leave.
Emma looked like a demon running around. Boom.
Yeah. She did. That's exactly what she loved. And it's because...
She was already possessed with something.
Yes, she was.
Thank you.
Yes, because if you remember the beginning of the movie...
At the table, okay.
You remember the beginning of the movie? The guy who was doing narcotics or what have you, he looked like he was possessed himself. Everybody was possessed in this movie.
But them kids.
A lot of people were possessed in this movie.
Yeah.
Like that guy who was doing illegal substances.
Right.
He was possessed.
Right.
And so Emma was possessed also.
Right.
Of some kind of spirit.
Yeah.
It could have been greed. It could have been whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the thing about it is this. Ain't no regular woman her age gonna be running around. And the way some of it was sped up and all that, but it looked funny. But I had to think, she was possessed. And then when you said she would speak about herself in third person.
She did.
Little stuff like that. It's really detailed.
Which means that she probably did not tell the story. The story was her story.
Right.
Was Sky's story.
Right.
That's why she said Emma wasn't going to go back to this. That was her story.
She said she ain't going back to broke.
Yeah. Do you remember the scene when she was running after the two girls and she said, "Hold on, let me stop running." She just stopped all of a sudden, and then she pulled out, went and started shooting at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like she switched gears.
Okay, so we have a consensus. I'm going to go ahead and bow down. We have a consensus that Emma really did annihilate her family, but the rest is to be questioned. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, the rest is to be questioned. It's probably a story that Sky told.
I heard another thing that's saying that the husband could have possessed Sky.
I think so. That could have been it.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
That could have been it.
Yeah.
And because he possessed her, do you remember she was looking in the corner? There could have been another one in the house that we just did not know.
We couldn't see it. That was just something she could see.
Wow.
Yeah. It is a reason.
And it didn't, and we didn't know what it was.
Right.
So there was the ones that we knew, but this thing that she was looking at was a different thing.
Yeah.
And that different thing could have been the same thing that possessed Emma to kill her whole family.
Yeah. So y'all let us know in the comments what you think.
It could have been the previous house owners. It could have been the previous house owner that caused Emma to kill her whole family and possess her.
Oh, like Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is for the old school too, and it's if you know, you know.
Yeah. What was that other spirit that she was looking at? It was she looked in the wall like it was something she had never encountered before. It was something different that she had never been possessed by.
She said, "Nah, you reaching now."
What?
Yeah, he reaching far in the sky.
Oh,
I don't know.
Amity Horror. But do you remember when she looked in the wall? It wasn't. I don't think.
Yeah, she did look over at the wall. She did look over at the wall, and we didn't see anything.
Yeah,
but it was something over there.
Yeah, I don't think it was a husband or her children. What was she looking at? And they were looking like, "What are you looking at?"
Right.
But
only you would remember that because it was nothing
about the husband saying that. I
don't know because it's a delay.
Yeah,
it was a delay. I don't know.
We do know.
Yeah, she remembered and saw something. Yeah.
We do know that everybody else was like an echo. All of the spirits she encountered were like an echo of their last moment.
Look, those spirits, to be honest, let's just keep it real because I read this on somebody's other comments. Those spirits were not mad.
Only one knew, I think.
What?
She said only one knew what was going on.
Whatever, that's her account. They were not angry.
No.
Trust and believe. That's another thing too that led me to feel like she did not annihilate her family, because if she did, wouldn't the children come through and say, "You did this"? Wouldn't they be angry? Wouldn't they be wanting to throw stuff at her and be mad, and the husband and all that? Like, I've seen plenty of horror movies. If spirits want to get at you, they're not restful, right? They're not resting. And if they have an opportunity to connect, to let you know, "Oh, I know what you did," that's what they do. These spirits did not do that. All we heard from those spirits was an account of their last moments. It was no anger. Now, now when she did the other seance with the young man who wanted to hear about the mom and all that, she said that was an angry spirit.
The mother was,
and the mother was not fatally injured. But she was angry. She was angry because they were going to take advantage of her son.
That's fine. Yeah.
Why this girl encountered 3 spirits and ain't none of them angry?
Well, one was the child, and the one that actually knew.
I said 3 spirits.
Yeah, one was the child, at least.
It don't matter.
And the child was the one that was in the tub,
look,
right?
I could take this back. I could take this back to Beloved, since you want to talk about a baby. Okay, if you know about the thing of Beloved, Beloved, the woman played by Oprah, she basically annihilated her whole family. In fact, this could be something like that too. She did annihilate her own family, and the baby, the youngest, came back in human form, in adult form, and was mad as heck at her mother.
You think maybe that was the one? Because that's the one that probably told. Who was the one that actually gave her the answer that she did it? It wasn't the husband, because he didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, his back was turned.
Yeah, and I don't think it was the daughter. It was the one that she did face to face.
What I'm trying to say.
That was the one when the water was coming up.
What I am trying to say is
that was the one.
No,
I think that's it. You gave the answer.
No, I didn't.
She might have been possessed by the son.
Right. She said the son died loving his mommy.
Oh,
yeah.
So which one did not die loving his mother, loving their mother?
My point.
The daughter.
My point.
The daughter didn't.
My point is this: you said the baby didn't know.
Okay.
Baby was nice.
Yeah.
No, in Beloved, the baby came back in adult form and was mad at the mother. My point is, a spirit is a spirit. It doesn't matter. When you go to the other side, you see all the picture. You see what happened. In human form, we cannot do that. We going a little spiritual here, y'all. So this is not what happened in the movie.
So, all right, but the daughter, did she know?
What I'm trying to say is all 3 of those spirits did not get angry at Monique, at Emma.
Not all 3. One knew. I'm not sure which one. I know it wasn't the husband, and I know it wasn't the son, so it had to be the daughter.
If a person was annihilated by their mother, their protector, their nurturer, they get an opportunity to come back and show their face, if you will. None of them are angry?
I think the daughter was angry. That's the one that told.
What makes you think that she was... No, my point is, none of them reached out and tried to touch someone. No, nothing was thrown. Look, I mean, I know I love horror movies, but don't you know that horror movies, when the spirits are mad, they do what they move stuff? None of that happened.
Well, okay, well.
There is a small possibility that Emma did not do that.
You really don't want to think that she did it. I think there was 2 liars in there, Emma and Sky. I think they both did it.
Who would benefit more in lying?
Both of them thought they would benefit.
I said more.
You said more. Yes, you did. Sky.
This is for thinkers.
It really
Not
is.
just people using their physical eyes.
But how do you?
But using their spiritual eyes.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, really.
Yes.
She said Emma did it. I don't think so.
Yes, and who actually told her that Emma...
So if Emma did it, why didn't the spirits come back and muff her up?
Well, they did say something. You did this. How did she know? She said, tell them, why can't you leave the room? Why can't you leave?
Oh, so how about
and
this?
which one was actually in her that they gave her the answer?
Put yourself...
Or did she just put it all together?
Put yourself in that scene.
Are you hearing me?
I do. But put yourself in that scene.
Okay, I'm listening. Okay.
Right? You wouldn't need to have a power to figure out things, would you? Why can't we leave the house? Oh, 'cause you fatally injured your family. I don't need no spirit to tell me that. Why is the mother mad? Because she felt that she knew something.
Yes.
Why can't we? The only guess would be, oh, you must have did it, ma'am. Ain't no spirit tell me that. I just could just guess it.
Oh, so no one told.
No.
Okay.
No, this is all her account. And that's it. How about this? If that's not true, Then why didn't they just end the movie with her fatally injuring her in her face? End the movie. There you go. Bye. End the movie. It would have been, okay, she's the victor. There you go. Why didn't the movie end right there? It could have just ended right there, and everybody could say Emma did it. Mm-hmm. Sky got her back. That's what I was thinking. There you go. Yeah. But then no. Then that little piece muffs up the whole movie.
It did. It made me rethink. So
what I'm thinking has a place. Okay. I can think that Emma never did it, and that Sky made the whole thing up to make her look innocent.
But how did she get out the house?
How did she get out the house? Well, I don't know. I don't know how she got out the house. And the thing about it is, let's just keep it 100. Yeah. Do people not write their codes down? And if she was really a medium, which I think that is the truth, she could read her mind. Or she could have made Emma tell her what the code was.
After she was gone.
What you mean after she was gone?
After she was gone. Because the mediums only read people who are gone.
I mean, or she could have just threatened her while she was there and said, give me the code.
She could have.
And then took her out.
She could have.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is what it is. Sky could see things that no one else could see. When she talked to the spirits, she was able to communicate and see things. And that's true. And guess what? I told you. The husband could have told her. The children could have told her. He was
gone, and they were gone before she got the security system. They were gone. They were long gone.
Oh, they wouldn't know.
They should know.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they know?
Especially if their only moments are the last time that they were alive.
And the circle turns. I'm still not convinced that this woman is a huge liar and manipulator, and she manipulated the whole story.
She said she's very well calculated. She's not crazy.
Sky is not crazy or she's very calculated.
She is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, she's the only survivor, so she could say anything.
She could.
I mean, really, she could have said anything. But I get it. I do give respect to the fact that 98% of the people feel like Emma did it. Mm-hmm. And then Sky could have took everybody else out in the house and possession and all that. Mm-hmm. I could believe that. I mean, I could, but I don't. I think it's still a place in what I'm thinking where she could have manipulated the whole story.
All right, so let's run this back again. How did she manipulate the whole story?
Well, I feel she manipulated the whole story at the time of when they got to the house and when she admitted to annihilating her family. We did not I mean, of course, when you're watching a movie, you don't think that we're seeing what she's saying. We don't learn that until the very end. Mm-hmm. But now that we know that, we have to treat it as such. Mm-hmm. So it's easy for me to say, well, how do I know that she ever admitted to doing that? Which basically makes her book null and void. She canceled her and say, look, read mine.
Read mine. Uh-huh.
And I'm the one who went through this and I know the truth. And of course she's a medium or whatever. And so that would make her make money. So she's making money with the book and she's going to get a whole bunch of readings at the end of the day. That's her success. So she don't have to end up like her mother. She had more of a drive to get out of poor. I think that little speech of I'm not going back to broke. Remember last night I told you, I said going back to broke is relative.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's relative to everyone.
Yes.
Like if somebody went from making $20 and then or $10 and they're making $30 now, $30 still is not a lot of money either. But it's better than that 10. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wishmacaller was really in the hood. Yes, right? She was really, her mom was out there shaking off. And I mean, she really had a reason to do all of that. I mean, did Emma really have to do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you annihilate your whole family to stay rich? Does that even make sense?
It really doesn't.
And even Emma even Sky the whole time was like, why would you do it? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Really, there's no reason why she would. Like, Was there any life insurance policies? No, that
No.
wasn't any reference to that in the movie.
No.
Why would she have done that to stay
And
rich?
she was so wealthy that they were going to fundraisers and such. Right? They were very wealthy.
It was like a mystery.
It was definitely a mystery.
She wrote the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reading. And then you're correct, because my husband's such a deep person, and he's right. You call it the reading. You're reading a book, and then you're reading like a medium reading. So the reading had different, meanings. Reading.
Yes.
So she did all of this to be famous with a book and to get more customers.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then she projected in the movie her own feelings and said Emma felt this way.
Mm-hmm.
When in my opinion, why would Emma, what would make her? I think what happened was things could have gotten out of hand during the reading. I think that did happen. I think they did go over there, of course, and she did want them to come over, and maybe she did want that to be a good business venture for her to push her book up. But things got out of hand when she realized Homegirl was real, and she took over spiritually with everybody.
Yes, yes. And another thing that occurred to me was when Emma said, I would have paid you off, but you tried to get over on me. I believe that's what she said.
Yeah, she did say that. But paid her off with what?
I would have paid the money for the reading.
Well, she should have known something was up when them people ain't take a deposit.
They should have. They should have taken a deposit.
Like, really? What the heck y'all going over there and giving her all that publicity and no money was exchanged?
Yeah.
That's just my little feeling. No, she said I would have paid you and let you go if you came by yourself.
Oh, that's what she said. Oh. Why? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
That means she never really wanted to split the money. That really means that
there you go. Look, that's the thing. That's what I was getting from it too, is greed. She wanted, it's like a group. If I know that I'm the Beyonce of the group, and I'm doing all the work, what the heck I need these Nimrods for?
Right, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't need the rest of them. You know, I don't need my friends. I'm the one doing all the work. I'm putting my body at risk. I'm doing the readings. So yeah, she wanted all the money, and rightfully so.
That just sounds like,
but she didn't want to do that.
That sounds like Sky actually told the story.
Thank you. A lot of that was Sky.
Her thoughts on the situation. She never wanted to split the money.
She didn't want to split the money.
Yeah.
She never wanted to split the money. She didn't want to go. She didn't want to go more broke than what she already was. It was a huge opportunity. And she couldn't stand her friends. She didn't. She didn't
even
want
though
them.
everybody played a part. It sounds like
they were using her anyway.
They were. She was the main attention. She was the product, so to say, or the service. But he was the scout, right? He went out and found the different deals. Oh, I know. And yeah.
This dog thinks he's a baby.
He does.
He's fussy. He was fussy earlier because he was tired.
Yeah, and now he's sleeping.
Okay.
Yeah, so the boyfriend, he actually went out. He was like a business manager. He went out and got deals for her, or heist. And then the girl, she actually monitored her vitals, so she was like an assistant. And the other guy did the recordings.
Yeah. And see, I'm glad you said that because she did need the help.
Yes.
That's the problem. People think they can do everything by themselves. You can't. You can't monitor your own blood pressure. You can't try to get you out of that situation because it seems like that was she was badly after one spirit. It was like 3.
Yeah, it was.
That literally could have took her out.
They sure
If
could have.
that story was true.
If that story was true.
You know,
Yeah,
it just makes you second guess everything.
And the whole story.
Yeah.
It could make...
It's like you built with blocks. You built some block, like a castle with some blocks, and then somebody just came through and knocked it down.
And
that's basically how I feel after watching this movie.
Yes.
I felt like everything I felt was the truth. Like, honestly, we all was like, oh, homegirl did annihilate her family, and then you do that. At the end, it's like, well, did she do it? Is this any of this true?
It's true,
The only truth is everybody dead but Scott.
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, there are truths that you can pick apart. Okay, the family did live in the house with Emma, right? Okay, they all died in the house, right? Okay, Scott actually did go to the house and have the reading. Right, they all died in the house. How did she get out of the house? Those things are all true. Those things are all true, right? Those things are all things that you could possibly feel.
She couldn't have found the key.
She could have. She could have.
I mean,
like
it
she
could have
picked
been
up
a key.
something. There could have been like a passcode written somewhere.
Okay, there you go.
She made sure she picked up this one item.
There you go.
She risked being caught to pick up this one item.
Yeah.
Why did she do that?
Right.
That didn't make sense.
Right. And
It
this
wasn't
is
a
exactly
weapon.
what who wrote this? No, Lee Daniels didn't write this.
Like
he directed it. There you go. Well, that's what they wanted us to do to literally dissect this whole movie.
Yes.
I mean, we're dissecting it to the bone. Because that's what it is. You know, he just down to the bone. All right, so what'd you say?
Yeah. So the things that we do know is that there was some kind of massacre that happened.
Yes.
Both times. Twice, yeah. We do know that there was that they actually did go to the house. How did she get out of the house?
Right.
We do know that.
Right.
What happened in the house, we don't know.
That part.
Both times.
Yeah.
But we do know that there was a lock on there.
Now, were the cameras on?
That you have to put a passcode.
Did she turn the cameras off?
The cameras were on, based on the story.
But she could have went back and erased it, or
she could have
shot him.
Yeah. Just like just like they couldn't have Wi-Fi. She could have just erased all of the tapes and everything. No one talked about what actually happened at the table. Did they actually upload the reading? Yeah. But anyway, we do know that they were there. How did she get out of there? Right? You do know that they had a reading.
There's a lot of holes in the story.
Yeah.
And
there could have been a reading. They could not have been.
What they say.
But we do know that she was in the house.
I think what they wanted to do, which is clever, is they wanted the viewers to write their own conclusions, which I think is brilliant.
Yes.
I think that is brilliant.
That's a marketing.
I think that's awesome in this day and age.
Some word of mouth.
Where dementia is rising and all these issues with memory. I value this movie because it's helped me to be more creative and think and go into details. It's a great great exercise for the brain. To rewrite, and I think that's what they wanted. They didn't want to do the work. They want you, the viewer, to rewrite and put your own spin. And each spin that I read and every video of this I've seen are excellent points and great endings to the movie, which I think is awesome. And that's what really brought me to do this. I was compelled to do this, to get on that. Yeah, I think it's awesome. Every it's no right or wrong answer. So I will stick to what I said and say Emma never did any of that, and she, wrote all of that herself. I will say that.
And that is so true. But how did she get out the house?
After all I just said. We just said it. You just said she picked up something and she could have gotten the keys. She could have mind read it. The house could have never been where she. I mean, it could have never been a house to just lock in and not lock out.
That's something that could be proven, but was it actually locked? Because she said she physically locked it. It could have never been locked.
Thank you.
It could have never been locked, and she would have walked
just
right out.
Just like in the beginning, was the doors locked?
No.
Was every door in the house locked?
It wasn't locked into the end.
Anything could have happened.
Yeah, it could have never been locked in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. She made the whole story up.
Yeah.
You know, and so if one part is a lie, it kind of makes the whole story. That's about lying. It's like, if you lie about this, why wouldn't you lie about that?
Yes. Yeah.
You're anybody who just the Lone Ranger who's left and everyone else is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a lot of space in there to make something up.
Yes.
I've seen other movies like that.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't, the storyteller, you just don't know. They could just leave out stuff, add in stuff. It's their account. It's what they want the people to believe. So we don't know what the truth. There are some nuances of truth in there, but a negative and a positive will always be a negative. So I'm going to say she lied about the whole thing.
Yeah, definitely some Sharon
Case
Stone.
closed.
Definitely some Sharon Stone. Yeah.
Right.
And Michael Douglas.
Basic instinct, right?
Basic instinct. Uh-huh.
What happened there? Who was telling the story? Who was, you know, and that's another thing I like about this movie. It took it back to the 90s. It took it back to where you had to literally put your cell phones down and get into the movie. There is no, I'm going to scroll and watch on the side. No. We need more movies like that.
Yes, I agree.
Okay?
Okay.
This was a good video.
It sure was.
We went a long time, so I was passionate about this. Okay? Alright, guys. Thank you for watching. If you watched it already, rewatch it, because we might have said some things that you didn't catch. If you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and watch it. And we'll see you another time.